I still remember the tall girl with long braided hair back in Quetta, Pakistan on the streets and roads riding bicycle. When I first saw her, it was my dream as well to learn how to ride bicycle. On the side note, at that time, we also, a few years ago, like when the Taliban first came to power, we moved from Kabul to Quetta for safety and better life. So when I saw this girl every time on the streets and roads, I always wanted to learn cycling. But of course, I never wanted to share it with my family because back then it was not normal for girls to ride bicycle. And I never wanted to share it. So moving forward, years goes by, and in 2013, I started my bachelor's degree. I went to Bangladesh, and my sister also was studying there. So one day in the lane of my university, I see a bunch of cycles over there, and I'm so happy to see these cycles because, of course, I want to learn cycling. And the other day, I see my sister, my elder sister, who happens to be here as well, Hakima. I see her riding bicycle, and I'm so happy and surprised as well. And I asked her, how did you know how to ride bicycle? And she's like, I learned it here. So that motivated me, and I asked for her help to teach me. So for a few days, she helped me. And there is one day I go to her, and I say, Hakima, just help me to learn cycling. And she's like, no, I'm not going to help you, Farishta. You get to move on. You're just going to do it yourself. That's how you're going to learn. Of course, I'm not going to ask her again. And then I intentionally chose the evening because at that time it was quieter. Students were not in the lane of the university. So even if I fell down, who cares, right? Because I wanted to learn cycling. So at that time, for a week, I continuously ride bicycle. Finally, after 1 week, I learned it. And then one day, I go outside the university lane, and there is a basketball court. I'm just so happy and proud and just so free. I'm enjoying, and I'm so joyful. Then there is one day I come across an opportunity. It's Bangladesh Discovery Ride, and it's 220 kilometers ride. And I'm going to tell myself, Farishta, you just learned cycling. How are you going to be part of it? And of course, I'm so much enthusiastic. I'm like, no matter what, I'm going to be part of this cycling ride. I'm submitting all my assignments, not thinking about it for the second time. I'm all set and ready for this ride. So I joined this cycling ride. We are 80 cyclists, both national and international, and we go to world's longest sea beach in Bangladesh, which is Cox's Bazar. It's 3 beautiful days of cycling, sharing stories, laughter, food. And when I go and I start this journey, I definitely see people cheering for us, and beautiful trees on both the sides. The sky is blue, and this just beautiful weather. And we promoted cycling for girls. We promoted cleanliness. It was just a beautiful journey, which I will always remember. Then years goes by. I graduate from my university, and this time I come back, not to Quetta, but Kabul, to my own country. And at that time, my parents had already shifted from Quetta to Kabul. And after a few years, COVID hit. And at that time, I was also part of initiative or a foundation, and we were providing computer classes and English classes to the underprivileged communities. So I was just a volunteer, and some of the members, we initiated this cycling, and it was obviously for fun. To our surprise, the group just grew to hundreds of girls and boys, and we would just wake up on every weekend so early in the morning that everyone else would sleep, were sleeping, but we were so joyful and we were just so happy, riding on the bicycle, paddling, just sharing the laughter, stories. It was just so amazing. And my other sister, Mariam, who is also here, she would also join me in those kind of rides. And then one day, I'm like, let me just share this dream of having a cycle with my father, because I never told him, right? So I go to my father, and I'm like, now I want to have a bicycle. Now that you know I'm part of this group of cyclists, like many girls and boys, so now I want to have my own cycle. And my father is like, let's just go. And we took 3 days to just look for a good bicycle. And I still remember that in those kind of locations, especially those markets, you could only see men and boys. And I'm sure when they saw me with my father, they must be like, how on earth this father with the adult girl is here and looking for a bicycle? Of course, nothing else mattered for my father because all he wanted was getting me a good bicycle. And then he just gives me this beautiful pink cycle, and he's like, Farishta, this is a gift from me, just ride it. And the next day, very early in the morning, he wakes me up and he wants me to join him for riding bicycle. We wake up, we prepare food, we are going to a beautiful shrine. This was called Sahijan, and we would just go and just ride in beautiful streets of Kabul on the roads. And especially while we were coming back, it was a lot of people on the streets, so they would give us different kinds of comments. Like, there were people giving us really bad comments, there were people really happy for us, and there were people just cheering for us. And I think especially with the negative comments coming from that community, from Afghanistan, where mainly girls and women are not even expected to be on the bicycles. So my father never wanted to encounter those people because all that mattered for him was the joy that I was having with him while I was riding bicycle. So I just want to say that my father is not only my support system, but he is my hero. And if every girl has their father's back, no any power can stop them from achieving their dreams. By the way, just to let you know, I do have a cycle here as well, and whenever I have time, I go for a riding bicycle with my sisters, who are also happen to be here. Thanks to Hakima for pushing me to learn how to ride cycling, and thanks to Mariam for being my buddy in Kabul and riding bicycle. Thank you so much.